And there we go. Good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning.
Oh,
I'll come back from a few weeks break.
we have. We've had 2 weeks off now, haven't we? Yes,
Yeah.
that has actually been a lovely time to have off. And so, yes, welcome back, folks. We decided to take a little break. So welcome now to Small Business Chat. Feeling, I don't know, I'd love to say I'm feeling refreshed. What about you, Karen? Because you weren't well.
No, so I had 2 weeks of being unwell, and then I had a week off last week, which was really good, and I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it, and I felt a lot more relaxed then. But yeah, I could have done with another week.
So, I mean, this is why we planned this episode like subject beforehand, and it's a bit sort of last minute in a way because trying to get back into the swing of things. But we wanted to talk about burnout for business owners because the fact day that we took a break, but I've noticed that a lot of my business owner colleagues are absolutely cream crackered. And this happens a lot. I mean, we've had unusual circumstances over the past 18 months. But I don't know about you, Karen, but I'm definitely feeling it like now. It's been, I know Christmas was like nice downtime, but definitely feeling it now has been something that I'm like, right, okay. I almost feel like it's not quite burnout just yet, but burnout for us as business owners is just such a common thing. And it's been recognized by the World Health Organization. And if you're working from home, which like some of us haven't been working from home as often, like I was working from home beforehand, as was you. So if you're new to working from home, you're probably thinking, oh my God, you have less time to switch off. And I loved, it was one of my favorite TED Talks was Richard St. John, and he does the 8 steps to success. And he talks about finding things that you love. And if you're a business owner, most often, especially if you're one of our business owner friends, you're doing this because out of passion, like it's something that you absolutely love doing. And he distinguishes, you're no longer a workaholic, you're a workafrolic. And the problem is that we get so excited and we don't want to turn stuff down, and we're loving what we're doing and this is all great, but we still forget to take those time out, the breaks and everything like that. What we're finding is that now more people are working from home, the areas are blurred as to, distinguishing what is your time off. And I found it really interesting. I don't know about you, Karen, but I definitely found it interesting that you end up having, you don't want to turn down stuff, you don't want to turn down clients, opportunities, meetings. So it's all go, go, go. And then you take a holiday. And this always happens for me. It's when I take the holiday, that's when I get ill. It's like my body knows.
And then then you feel like you're just literally recovering during that break, aren't you? And not really having a break.
No, but this year I had a plan, which we'll go into. But where we talked about like what does burnout look like, I was checking out a few sources of information. So Mental Health UK was really helpful because I don't think we realise how burnout affects us. And the problem is that once you've had it once and you've crashed, it's easier for you to get it again. So it's really important that you recognise the signs and you try and rectify it. And also, I've learned from some great business memberships and sort of masterminds that I've been in, like mindset health is a really important factor of being a business owner. But things like, you're exhausted, you're drained, we kind of like associate that with burnout. But there are a couple of things like brain fog is something that I know when I can't concentrate anymore, something's going wrong and I need a break. But also a lack of enthusiasm, like you just start getting a little bit more negative and irritable. Like people that are around me that probably know that I snap when I get irritable, but I kind of like notice that more, so I'm like, oh, time out, gotta watch that.
I think as well things like enthusiasm, motivation, feeling motivated, and also, I mean, if you get it really bad to a point, it's really hard to even get out of bed.
Yes, chronic fatigue, which I suffer from. So that's where I crash. You start getting colds, anxiety, another one. Even like heart palpitations, just sort of like what's going on. And it, especially if you're a woman, like you could be going through like the change, as it were, and it's like you're getting all of this anyway, loss of appetite. So the other thing is that you want to disconnect is the other, that's my big telltale sign. I just want to disconnect. So I can do what I need to do, but I just want to retreat more and more and more and more, which, you know, it's not very good. Like, you know, there are certain things like breaks, of meeting with friends is really good for you, just to boost yourself up, get away from work. So I thought that was really interesting. Like, what are the signs? Because I bet you we're probably experiencing some of these things and not noticing it, or just going, oh, I'll just finish this project and it will be fine, or I'll just do this. I'll just, you know, sort of like go once this month is over, it'll be calmer.
Yeah.
But we're not you know, trying to push through when you know, you're loving your job and you're trying to push through the entire time, but you're not having as much fun. It can be really hard. So yeah, something to be mindful of. And it can definitely resonate with like some of us as well, I think.
Yeah.
The other thing was that, and Karen, like, again, you'll probably know this, but they sort of mental health organization, when they were discussing what were the factors that were contributing to burnout. So you'll probably nod if you're a business owner, but sort of like lack of money and stability is also one of them. So especially if projects haven't turned around, and, you know, it can have an effect on us and our mental health. Lack of clarity and focus. And I'll always say that sometimes when you're pushing for something that's not meant for you is another sign of like when you exhaust yourself. So Karen, again, you talk about a lot about how you're much more aligned with work and you find it's much more free flowing.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important, that because if you're not enjoying what you're doing and you're working on a project that you're not really passionate about, that is going to take on an extra level of stress. It's going to take a lot more energy to get through it, to try and motivate yourself and find ways of motivating yourself. So that definitely can contribute to burnout.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And also I would say working from home has been a huge factor in burnout. If you are business owner or you have teams that are working from home, or an employee, working from home and not establishing those boundaries, I think that, you know, we're thinking, oh, we need to be seen to be online, or we need to show that we're logged in. And maybe it's because you've got a horrible boss, like actually micromanaging you, or clients that are demanding that you're there the entire time. Setting yourself boundaries, even though you're working from home, super important, don't you think? Because
yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm lucky enough that I've got kind of a spare room which sort of doubles as a guest bedroom as well, but that's my office, and I make sure I'm kind of on the computer between 9 and 10, and I'm shutting down between 5 and 6, and I'm out that door, and I'm not available to do computer stuff. I mean, I do respond to stuff in the evening, and that's my thing I've got to get out of the habit of. So I sort of say, you know, anytime after 6, you know, that is outside my working hours. And there are things now, I mean, you can do literally on your phone, like your email is just, if you want to respond to emails in the evening because you are busy in the day, you can schedule that to go out the next morning.
Yeah, that's true. And
I think when you're responding out of hours, that just gives your clients can go, okay, well, if she's working out of hours, so can I, because they might be, you know, if they've got kids and stuff and they've got busy during the day, a lot of them do their work at night time. So whereas if you've already had a whole day and then you're continuing into the night, it's really draining. And I find now I refuse to do calls and stuff like that after 6 o'clock, unless it's, you know, absolutely necessary, or it's, you know, a webinar that I really want to go to. But I do miss out on a lot because by that point I'm so tired, I want to be off the computer.
I have I myself have got clients, so, you know, I've had to speak to clients in like China, like for projects, and then post. So now I have noticed, I'm getting really tired now. Like, it was great at the beginning and getting settled in, what needs to be done, but even I'm having a cut-off time of 9 o'clock. Like you said, I'll try and do as much as I can during the day, but then 9 o'clock I need to like cut off. And also lack of sleep is the other factor, which again, your bedtime routine, like if you're constantly on a screen, which I find, so if I'm not on my computer screen, I'm on my phone, or even if you're watching TV, it's stimulating you. But lack of sleep is a massive like contributor to burnout, and we don't prioritize it enough. And so for me, it's like, right, I've now realized, okay, I've been doing this for a little while. This is why I'm feeling more tired than so. I was doing really well before it, but you know, you do sit there and go, and because I have to get up early, it's like, right, I need to make sure that I have switched off lockdown before a certain time so that I can start sort of like winding down, and my body winds down for sure.
Yeah. Do you take a break then during the day? Because that's a really long day for you, if you're having to work with the States and in the evening.
Well, actually, this is why I thought this would be perfect for you, because I've loved your talks on like getting back to nature and decompressing. So I know about, so I've had to change my habits slightly, because eating the right foods, which I have to do because of health reasons, but you should do anyway. But I mean, it's like, you know, a lot of that is home cooked and prepared, and so make sure you've got the right nutrients in. Exercise is my problem right now, my Achilles heel, as it were. So I want to do some more walking. So I'm trying, there's a gap around 3 and 4 p.m. where I want to either go out for a walk, head to the gym like in the afternoon, like that's my slot. And then I'll cook early and then have a little break, and then like just do the last final bits if there's any meetings or if there's anything that I need to do, try and get that sorted as well. But you know, I'm still not perfect, and this is why we do Small Business Chat. We're not here to tell you that we're perfect. We're here to tell you I know what it's like.
Yeah, and these are our sort of aspirations as well. Yeah, I think it is. It's really difficult, and it's because there's so much going on, but also, yeah, like you've got those different hours that you have to do and get into kind of create new habits, which can take a long time. And it's really interesting on the chat I had yesterday was she was saying just add little things to whatever you're doing. So if you're standing there making a cup of coffee or whatever, to do 10 squats, you know, and or you're brushing your teeth, do something else. So you build in these little habits into things that you're doing every day anyway. And I think it always reminds me of my mom, because she's always done that all her life. She'll be sort of standing in the kitchen and she'll be doing some yoga stuff. And that's you know, so I started doing that when I was doing certain things, sort of started doing various little moves, you know. And I think if you can build that constant kind of movement in, especially if you are sitting at a computer job, I think that's really important, as well as getting outside, obviously. And not everyone can do that all the time.
Yeah, like you said, look, just even looking out the window, just looking at nature. So sometimes when I'm feeling quite drained, I have to move my computer. Like sometimes I need to sit outside for a time out with a cup of tea, or you know, just get some water fluids. Definitely really important. But also just sitting outside, and like I've got loads of trees outside, so just sitting out there looking at that really helps. The problem is I want to go for a snooze afterwards. It's like I can't. But even just working and looking at like out by the garden really does help. But definitely move. I love Jim Quick's. He always says this. Jim Quick, and we had Jill Mackay on here as well. She's really good on that. Like habits take a while to create, so it's like doing something consistently will help you in that habit. And then after a while, I think it's something like, was it 30 days she said, or 60? It was like, you know, boom, it's a habit, you're doing it, it's sort of like synced into your brain. And Jim Quick was also saying, like, your mind grooves, when your body moves, is his saying. So again, getting out and moving just kind of like really helps, but it sort of like energizes you a little bit more, gives you a bit more energy, definitely for sleep. Lack of exercise being one of them. And then also caring for others, because I think I keep on saying this to anyone that I know that has worked at home whilst trying to school their kids and run a business. I'm just like absolutely in awe of, because I fair enough look after myself, to be honest, Kaz. But
I know, I just don't. Yeah, I don't know how they cope, and my hat's off to them, because that is really, really tough.
But yeah, definitely like the quality of your relationships around you, and definitely if you're caring for others or your mind's on them and you're looking after them, it is quite it's an additional pressure perhaps. So yeah, that's been quite interesting to see what the other factors are that contribute to like burnout.
Yeah, I think one of the other big things as well I was thinking about recently was, you know, you always feel like you if you're working for yourself, you feel like you've always got to be there, and you've got to be there for all your clients, and so you don't ever want to take the time off. You're always like, oh, okay, I'm still available if you need to. But actually, when you can't do anything, you've gone away where there is no signal. And I mean, that's something sometimes you have to do to really push you to switch off, is go somewhere where there is no Wi-Fi, where there is no mobile signal to properly switch off. And so I found sort of, when I was off ill, I had, there was very little I could do. And actually people can wait. It's not as urgent always as they make out. So
I know.
often it's like, oh, I really need it now. And it's like, well, I really can't do it now. I absolutely no way of doing it. You might have to look and see if someone else can help you, or I can put you in touch with someone. And it's like, oh, no, it's okay, I can wait. So, it's just remembering that time. It's a two-way street, I think, with you and your clients. Likewise, you wouldn't, they need to have that break as well. So it's just, if that is the case, just talk it through with them. And just say, this is it. I do need this break now. I can't be in touch. But, I just said, if there's anything urgent, call me on my phone and leave a message, or message me. I said, because I won't be checking emails every day.
Well, actually, this goes on to the self-care aspect of it all. So I've seen that you've got a brilliant initial email. So if anyone emails you now, it's almost the expectation of, okay, I'm really busy during this time, I will get back to you. I'm checking in emails sporadically as I'm working on quite a few projects at the moment. Like, do you want to talk a little bit about what that message says? Because I love that one.
Oh, okay. Oh, I should have had it open. What did I?
No, that's right. No, again,
I think I just said at the moment, I am quite well. Let me have a look for it.
Because actually what I find is that, again, it's establishing the boundary if you are really busy. I don't think a client of mine did this, and I thought this was brilliant. He's in back-to-back meetings, he doesn't have time to respond to emails. And where is it that we've got this urgency to reply to emails straight away? And it doesn't have to be like that. So again, those boundaries are super important. But also the expectations, like you have got other stuff on, even if you're doing your office admin, that's still really important that you get that done, you file those accounts on time. This is not like additional stuff that you have to do. This is part of your business. So I think setting those boundaries have been really keen. But yeah, your emails are really liked.
Yeah, it's not coming up at the moment. I just did a test. It's taking a little while to come back through. Typical, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it was just basically saying, sorry, I'm, quite busy at the moment, or I'm on holiday, but I am quite, I do have quite a lot of projects on. So, get in touch and I'll, see what I can do. But just kind of those expectations that it is a busy period, and if you're a new client, get in touch and we'll see what we can do. If you're a current client, obviously I can help fit you in where I can and see what's possible. Yeah.
And I think it's just excellent for business expectations, like, what's the reply time? And if for me, I think that knowing that you're not going to get that email straight away, but we will get back to you like within 24 hours. That's not a problem, but not just straight away.
Yeah.
Because again, we're in the age of digital where people are WhatsApping you now, and so now I have to put on my WhatsApp like call if urgent, because my notifications are switched off. So yes, you will get me on WhatsApp if you need me, but it's not going to ping on my phone constantly to distract me. So that's something that's really important. I was reading another post, I thought, crikey, this is so true. But again, it's the boundaries and incessant emails of reacting. Whereas if you use something like tech, can be a hindrance, but it can be wonderful if you've got a project management tool. So like we do for Small Business Chat, we actually use Slack, but we have different threads for the things that we're doing that we can do in our own time that we know is due, and then we can flag it up then. But it's not an email that's, where is it, where are we looking? It's a little bit more organized, and especially when you've got projects and deadlines, like, we've used Asana and Trello. So I thought, oh my God, yeah, I must remember to include that in terms of setting those boundaries up. And it's like and it just, unnecessary meetings of winding, which again, burnout, Zoom fatigue is the other thing that is becoming more and more prevalent. So how to sort of section that out. I'll tell you a funny story. Before I went on holiday, I was starting to feel run down, and I knew I needed that breakout. And I booked the holiday perhaps in that time off, perhaps by June, but I needed like those 2 weeks in August. And two things that occurred to me is that the reason come June is that I'd worked, I'm looking at my calendar, that's why I'm like looking over there, but I had worked consistently. I was like, oh yeah, I'll book that in at some point I'll book that in. And you put your head down and you continue. And when I had sort of about June time coming up to my holiday, I thought my body will crash. I know it will. I know my body really well. And I didn't want that. So I spoke to Neela from Homeopathy Harmony, shout out to you. But I was just saying, like, I need to boost my immune system, you know, just to like pep me up a little bit. I know that, you know, I'm flagging. So it was really good to do that before I went on holiday. Because I swear I probably would have crashed before. But I was having a great chat with her. And you know what, Karen, what really annoyed me is that she said everything that I already knew. Like, you know, actually you need to factor in the breaks, you need to get the sleep, you need to switch off the TV. And there was a part of me that just went, like I almost needed to play that session to hear it again. And, you know, sort of block out the time in my calendar. And what we ended up doing was during that time, we were planning for 2022 small business chat. And as Karen knows, I have, like in our calendar, I have blocked out the weeks that we holiday already for 2022. And that will obviously mirror my other, like, you know, outside of small business chat, my business. But I was looking at, right, what's the time off? So I already know my dates off that I've got to request from clients and say, look, I'm not available. So all of that is there, but it just really annoyed me. I had to sit there and listen to her to tell me all the stuff that I knew, blocking out time in your diary during the day, like to go to, like you said earlier, do you have time that you block out during the day to go for the walk, to go to the gym? Or for me in the morning is my time. So what is it that I've got to do and make sure I've got done? Like in the morning, that's my time. Or where's my creativity days, or where's my business planning days, where's my admin days, and block that out in my calendar like every month, going, right, I need a session here, I need a session there. So blocking that time out is super important.
I find that a bit difficult though at times, because you're not always feeling like, oh, this is an admin day or this is a creative day. So I think for some people, even if you're just blocking that time to work on your business, you can you could also do that and fill it in with what you want to do at that time.
I also one other thing that I'm finding more and more, not only with clients but with myself, like you just said, it's really hard to get motivated when you've got so much going on, you can't see the wood for the trees. And I'm loving productivity pods. So, you know, there's a group of you are on, yes, you are on Zoom, but you know, you're seeing the faces, but you're getting on with your work. So for a 2-hour block, making sure that you have, I mean, I'm in different groups. So Monday, I know I'll have one. I'll definitely have one on Thursday. And then there's another group. There's like 4 different groups that, you know, I'm part of that will hold a productivity session. So if you're feeling tired or the lack of focus and clarity is like, what is the one thing that you want to get done? I find that super amazing. And also for you to just re-energize yourself and escape that burnout feeling of, oh my God, I'm struggling. Yes, I need breaks. Yes, I need to look after myself, but also I am struggling like from a mental capacity to try and focus and finish things off. Because that's the other thing with burnout is I procrastinate like you would not believe, because I don't have the energy to do it.
Yeah, it's starting a lot of things and not finishing it, isn't it? And then that sort of kind of weighs on your stress as well, doesn't it? So you constantly thinking, oh, I've got to get that done, I've got to get that done, I've got to get that done. Whereas I know, like when, you know, we were doing our accountability sessions, it was just, well, just tick off the things that are quick and easy wins, you know, rather than putting in there that thing that's been sitting there for months and it's not budging anywhere. You know, that's just going to cause you a lot of stress. So I think, you know, so it's getting those smaller things done and ticked off, then just sort of gets the the ball rolling, doesn't it? And I think then leads to you getting other stuff done more easily.
Well, also the accountability sessions, if you're watching and you're thinking, what is it and how does it differ from a productivity? I think what's quite interesting is a productivity session for me is that you've blocked out time and everyone's got a task to do. They have to get it done in that time. With the accountability sessions, we're looking out for a week and we're sitting there thinking, right, what is it that you have to get done in that week? What is it that we need to do? Did we get it done? Why didn't we get it done? So Karen, I'm going to give that example of you had to do a presentation and you just couldn't get your head around. So again, we procrastinate, don't we? And in the end, it's like, right, what is it that you need to do? So we blocked out a time, didn't we, just to go through it?
Yeah, just to do that. Yeah.
And we blitzed it. And it was great because it made sure that you got it done. You were able to submit it on time. And likewise, when I sat there and went, right, this has taken me far too long to do. You've gone, right.
And we're talking months and months here, and it all got done in an hour.
Got done in an hour. So there is a difference between the two. But again, when you're at that stage of burnout and probably early stage and you're starting to struggle, but life goes on and we've got things to do. We've got pitches or client work to do, and it's got to get done. But also on our business, like how can we sort of get things done that once you've done it, you can then look at that time that you would have spent on it for a lot longer, go for that walk, go get that sleep, do something creative. That's the other thing that I would say. Creativity sessions is a massive thing for me. If I don't take time out just to not think about something, maybe just draw or just do something, color in, whatever it is, but just take your mind away from something else, I come up with loads of ideas.
There's so much you can do. You can go out and do a bit of gardening. You could, as I say, do a bit of painting, maybe play a card game with someone. There is lots of different things that you could be doing. Just away from the screen though, obviously.
Definitely away
from the screen. Yeah.
And then finally, I was just going to say one point, and this is a new thing for me. I'd never done this before. So I almost do a pre-holiday, like this has come up this year, which is why I thought, well, I'm going to share this. And if it helps, then brilliant, because I'm sure there'll be another half-time term. But again, I always fall into the trap that when I take a holiday off, I don't know about you guys, but I work like a demon just before trying to wrap things up. So that by the time, this is why I crashed during the holiday, like the first couple of days, I'm like, oh my God, I just want to sleep. So I found a little trick. So what I did this time is that I knew I was going to have 1 week. Absolutely. That was my holiday. The week before that, I did not book any new business or new client consultation Zooms or calls. It was literally only if a client needed it, but I told the clients I'd be off for the 2 weeks because I was essentially, I was doing my own stuff. And I think only one of them needed to speak to me, but that was fine. We put that in the diary because that was a bit more urgent, time pressing. And I would factor in sort of like do the back office stuff that you want to get rid of, like quiet time of all the stuff that you want to do. And like I said, I sort of like upped my game in terms of vitamin supplements because I needed it. I know because I've got a vitamin D deficiency. So it's like, I needed to make sure I'm taking my vitamins. Am I factoring in those hour-long walks into the, like almost like getting into the holiday zone? And I even took a day off, like a solid day off to do something different. Like I call it a creativity day. And for me, I would do like a massage. If you're going to do a massage, don't wait until your holiday to do it the week before. Like any sort of like treatments and things like that, like, or booking that bath. It doesn't have to cost anything, but just make you sure you have like your bath pamper day or whatever it may be, just to decompress. So it's like the Friday before or the weekend before, so that you can almost ease into your holiday. And it's worked out really well because I took my holiday so that it was a bank holiday week for the following, like obviously we're in the bank holiday week, 4-day week. People are still, on holiday at the moment, so it's really
people are easing back, aren't they?
Planning it around that. So that I hope is some, especially for burnout, I think that is going to be my secret weapon going forward, is the week of my holiday.
And I would even go as far to say actually book either the week before or 3 days before and 3 days after as part of your holiday, where you're not doing, where you're saying you're not even doing anything. And if there, as you say, if there is a urgent stuff you've got to catch up on or whatever, do it, but don't take any new requests in, even from client work or anything like that. Have that buffer zone on your holiday. Because I agree, before I've gone away, everyone's like, oh, okay, well, you're going to be away, can I get it done now, and you're just inundated, and it happens every time. And I'm so stressed by the time I've gone on holiday that, like you say, it takes, if you're going for a week, it takes you half of that time you are actually de-stressing, and then you're just starting to come out of it, and then you're back again. So you don't actually have that time to completely take off and decompress and disconnect properly.
Absolutely, I found that, and totally. It's just now it's taken me 10 years working for myself to figure that out. But you manage as much as you can. You go, right, I'm signing off. Usually I think the stress of, right, I'm jetting away and I've got the weekend to do everything, and then get on the flight or whatever, and it's always such a rush. But this time, even I wasn't going anywhere, I was just staying in the UK. In fact, I wasn't even going anywhere in the UK this time. I was just doing stuff that I wanted to do, because it was like, we're going on, we had a few sort of like bouts of illness, and luckily nothing serious, but it was just like, oh, we were supposed to do that day, and now we can't because you're not well or whatever. And then I wasn't well at one point. I did have a complete crash, but it was one day as opposed to 3, and I was like, I'll take it. This will be my reading in bed day.
Yeah, and that's just it. If you fancy sort of really lying in bed and reading a book or whatever, do it. Don't feel guilty about it. I think that's really important as well, to just enjoy that, indulge. I've always had this idea of taking a sabbatical, really taking 6 months off, and I'm just like, it's like an impossible dream. But if I could get certain things in place, then hopefully that will be possible one day. So that's the aim.
I don't disagree with you. I'm also with you. So we'll put that in our accountability chats of we'll say, what year are we taking it? For me, am I taking that month off? I definitely want to take a month off. But yeah, it'll be quite interesting to see.
Yeah.
Fab. Well, thanks guys for if you've joined us live or if you're watching the replay. If you have any insights or even questions, just drop them down in the comments below.
And let us know, what your tips are and what you've done, and if you've had burnout, and what have you done to help overcome it. We'd love to hear what you've done and what's helped. And if you know of any experts that you think could join us one session, I'd love to have that on there, because I really do feel that they don't tell you about health as a business owner. They never told us that. So yes, it'll be really good to have someone on as well to talk about that. But I've got a few people in mind as well, but always looking for different approaches. So yes. Yeah, brilliant. Okay. All right. Take care, everyone, and see you same time next week.